Hello, welcome to Crafting Kitty. My name is Erin, and it's Saturday. So it is time for my weekly roundup. Yay! What is my weekly roundup? Well, it is where I go through my weekend crafting. Sometimes the book I'm reading, but I didn't bring it in here, so we're not going to talk about it. We are going to talk about my stitch marker of the day and my Coraline Halloween calendar, so that's going to be exciting. But yeah, so we go through any WIPs, works in progress I have, and the finished objects, FOs, and I have a couple of both to share, as always. Okay, yes, that one did make it up here. Alright, let's just hop right into the stitch marker of the day. This time it has a very cute Frankenstein's monster sticker, and we're on day 8. Let's see what it is. Let's see. I haven't checked to see how we're going to end up, like are we going to end on Halloween or anything, so we're just opening these until I run out. Oh, that's cute! It is orange, yellow seed beads with some black beads and a wooden painted pumpkin. Look at how cute that is. There's a bead on the bottom. I'm just using it to hold the pumpkin. That is super cute. I love it. Thank you. This is from Ellie Leva at Ellie Leva's Crafts and More. Let's put this with the cat. Yeah. Pumpkin and kitty together. There we go. All 8 days so far. I have 15 of these, so we'll just keep going. We are on day 9 of my Coraline yarn. So this is the Coraline Halloween box from Silly Goose Yarns. Let's see what day 9 has. Sometimes there's little extras. Sometimes it's yarn. I think it's just yarn in this one. Let's see, what is it? What is it? It's perfect. It is a limey, slimy green with some black, grayish black charcoal, like little streaks. That's the word I'm looking for. Because it's not a stripe, it's more, but it's not a speckle. This is going to be super cool, and I love it. I'm trying to figure out a good way to hold it to show you. Of course, it's blowing out because it is very neon-y, but there you can see the charcoal, the black streaks I was talking about. It is very slimy, limey. You were getting kind of mint in the screen. It is not. It is a great Halloween green. I'm trying to think what in Coraline is kind of that green. I mean, it's a color that I think is just generally in. It feels like it fits the set, and it definitely feels Coraline. Maybe, does the cat have green eyes like that? I think maybe that's it. We'll go with cat eye. With the streak, cat eye. Okay, so now we're going to go into my finished objects. First, I have a washcloth. I made this to donate to the American Starfish. The American Starfish is an organization that helps homeless veterans. They have tiny home communities that they're building, so they help get homeless vets in off the streets, and they also have washing stations. That's where the washcloths come in. Heather from Strings and Threads was doing a Scrubby Sunday where she was making washcloths to help better her knitting skills, and then she was finding a lot of cute crochet ones, so she was making those too. So she was having fun. And they saw her videos and were like, hey, you're making washcloths, we need some washcloths, let's talk. So she put the call out, and now a lot of people are making washcloths. The address that you can send them to is down below in my description box. Don't send them to me, don't send them to Heather. The American Starfish need them. And they're collecting them through Veterans Day, November 11th. And so yeah, I was making washcloths to practice my Tunisian, but this isn't Tunisian. I tried to do the lemon peel stitch, and I quite like it. So if you saw, I did a stitch tutorial this week for the Suzette stitch, which I'm making a blanket out of, and it is very close to the lemon peel stitch, and I wanted to just do the lemon peel stitch to see if I liked it. And I do think it has a nice texture on the washcloth. So it's fun. So this is not Tunisian, it's regular crochet. I am using a sugar and cream Christmas, maybe it was called holiday stripes. Anyway, I got it on clearance at Michael's at a good price, and so I'm working this up. So we are rapidly approaching the deadline. My washcloths are stacking up behind me there. To get the washcloths in, and I am rapidly running out of that yarn. So I think I have one skein left, and I think I've got one washcloth left. So next week will probably be the final washcloth I make, and then I'll ship out all of these to the American Starfish, and we'll decide where we go next. I do have other charity projects in the works, so I think I'll stick with those before I bring in another organization. You'll see in my works in progress. But there we go, the American Starfish. Check out Heather. She's the point person on this whole thing. She's been the one communicating with the American Starfish. And in other finished projects, whatever, I made a hat. So the children come with me to Joann's and Michael's, and usually I let them pick out a skein of yarn that they want me to make a project for them out of. And Chomps picked out this yarn. This is Red Heart. I think it's Reef. Red Heart Super Saver. Yep, in Reef. And he said he wanted a hat and or scarf from it. We only picked up one, so I made him his hat, and in the works in progress you're going to see the other thing. So this is fun. It's kind of camouflagey looking. I think it's cool, and I like kind of how the yarn pooled a bit there, and I just think it looks cool. He is going to be very excited to have his hat. It's just a double crochet hat with I did a single crochet brim. That's all it is. I like to have a simpler project in here when I'm like editing videos, so while it's running I can just be stitching away, and that's what this project was. Okay, additional finished object. I've got one more for you. I did finish my project for the KraftingKitty Creator Spotlight. So this month we are featuring Tamara Kelly from Moogly, and I was going to make, well, I made the Heatherstone Shawl. So she has a tutorial on her YouTube channel, and she also has this PDF available for free on her website. So you can use both. You can have the written pattern in hand, and you can watch the video if you have any questions. But this was a very, very fun make. In hers, she uses Caron Simply Soft. And she uses a solid gray, and then her trim is in white. So I have a black and white printer, but that picture is pretty true to what her project looked like. I wanted to see how it looked in variegated or a color changing yarn. So I used Ferris wheel, Line Brand Ferris wheel. I barely had to break into my third cake. I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it out of 2. And then I lost in Yarn Chicken on the trim. But that's okay. That's okay. So I used Line Brand Ferris wheel in the colorway Pink Marmalade. I thought that might look really cool, and I thought it kind of had an autumn, fall, Halloween-y vibe to the colorway. And here it is. I made it exactly to pattern. So I even did, just for you guys, just for the winner, I did the picot border. So there you go. Here's what it looks like. It's kind of a asymmetrical triangle, and I think it's super pretty. There it is. So what it does is you start on this end. So you start here, and then every row you decrease down. So when you get to the end, it's just like bloop, 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 and it goes so fast. And then of course you have the border. So there's 2 setup rounds for the border, and then 2 rounds for the actual trim. And it's kind of a picot on almost a meshy thing. I think it looks super cool. I'm so excited with how it turned out. So with a shawl this size, you can wear it so many different ways. It would definitely, I think, work as a little handkerchief shawl. You could definitely drape it around your back. I really hope whoever gets this one likes it. I know it's a bolder color choice, but I think it's pretty. It's got pinks, it's got purples, it's got browns, greens, kind of a mustardy, coppery color in there. Yeah, I think it's pretty. So there you go. I finished it. So somebody participating in the Crafting Kitty Creator Spotlight is going to win that there shawl. And it was a lot of fun to make. It was you do some setup and then it was a 4-row repeat for the main body of the shawl. So once you kind of got into that groove, it went. And it definitely feels like running down the hill because it's getting smaller every row. I love projects like that. The kiddos are playing. Brian is out there. I know there was some question as to whether or not Brian was sufficient supervising, but I'm on this level too. Okay, so let's hop into my works in progress. For Chomps' hat, I am not going to make him a scarf or a cowl. I'm making him mittens. So here we go. I am making again that Ms. Murdoch's mitten pattern that I made for Bingo, except this time for hers, the pattern calls for a 4mm hook. On hers, I used a 4.5, and I still thought it was quite stiff. So on Chomps', I've gone up to a 5, and it's still a nice, closely stitched mitten, I think. So I think it'll keep his hands quite warm, and I am much happier with the fabric of these. So I think for me going forward, it will be a 5mm hook for this pattern. And because I'm using the bigger hook, I've had to go down. It's 3 sizes on this mitten. I've gone to the smallest size, which they say is preschool size, and it fits his hand very well. He's already tried it on, so it's a good size. He's 6.5 years old. So we've got that going. I'm almost done with the first mitten. That will in all likelihood be done next week, and I'll probably be well into, if not finished, with the second mitten. The next project I have, let's go knitting, because we'll go crochet, knit, knit. My socks. Here's a Queen's Crafts by Bridget 100-gram sock bag. It is wonderful. I love her bags. I have been making Bingo a pair of socks. I'm using the Premier Fruits yarn. She wanted orange, and at this point I'm probably just using my own brain power for the pattern. Premier has a kids knit sock pattern when you look at this yarn. So for Chomps' sock, I looked at that and then I kind of merged it with the Crazy Sock Ladies vanilla sock pattern on 9-inch circular needles, and merged those together, and now I'm just going from my head, hoping I can remember how to make socks. And I think it's worked out, although I did make a mistake last night. So the toe might be slightly misshapen, but that's okay. It's just 1 row. It'll be fine. They're socks. So anyway, here I am. I am on the toe decreases, so I've switched from my circulars to my DPNs, my double pointed needles, and we're moving forward. So what happened, I was working on these while Bingo was in the bath, and must have been on a decrease row, and I decreased the front of the sock, and then something happened and I didn't decrease the back of the sock. So then I got confused, and I went around and I was like, wait a second, I'm 2 stitches off on the back needle. So I don't know what happened, but I have, like, on the back needle I have 2 decreases in a row, and on the front needle I've got 2 non-decrease rows in a row. It's gonna even out, and like I said, it's a sock, and these are tiny, tiny yarns on tiny, tiny needles. It's not gonna throw the pattern off that much. And apparently making mistakes in your knitting keeps the fairies away. if you want to keep fairies away, why would you want to keep fairies away? I would want the fairies to come visit, unless they're the naughty fairies. I was reading some knitting superstitions, and that one kind of stuck with me. I think it was particularly in baby blankets. I think that's what it was. You're supposed to put a mistake in a baby blanket because it keeps the fairies away, and then they don't take your child as a changeling or something. It protects the baby. And it excuses any mistakes. So anyway, this is very close to being done. That is the second sock, so I see no reason why next week I won't be sitting here with a completed pair of socks for bingo, and probably another new sock to show you. And what else do we have? Okay, so we're going crochet next. This is the other charity project I have on the go. I am using, this one for the body. I used my Clover Takumi 9-inch circular needles in US 2, and now I've switched to my Chow stainless steel double-pointed needles for that project. This project I'm using my Susan Bates 5mm. This poor little hook is just getting so beat up. I've used it quite a bit. One of the first hooks I bought in the first pack when I realized I was actually going to start crocheting. But I am making a blanket for Boggy Creek. I am hoping to get a girls and a boys done. At this point, I believe I'm a third of the way done with the boy blanket. This is the project that I'm using the Suzette stitch on, and this is what I did the stitch tutorial on. So here we go. Here's the blanket. This is how wide it is. I measured it again to make sure it is 37 inches wide, and then I'm going to work. So it's basically a square, and then I can put a shell border on it, and that should get it to the 40 by 40. But there we go. I'm using Lime Bread Ice Cream Big Scoop in the colorway Butter Pecan. They also have this in the non-big scoop. If you don't want the gigantic ball, you can get a smaller ball of it. There you go. Butter Pecan. And why are you completely free of my project? Sneaky Pete! Sneaky Pete has been attacking my crochet, and I'm betting his little tiny kitty teeth severed the yarn. Oh, he's adorable and he's lucky. The other yarn I'm using is a solid gray, and it's the best match I could find. Bernat Baby Sport, which is a sport yarn, which you would think is a 2-weight, but it's a pretty good matching 3-weight for the Lime Bread ice cream. So it's either I think the ice cream is a really good 3-weight, and the Bernat Baby Sport is labeled a 3-weight, so I don't know why they would call it sport. It's confusing. Anyway, I think they're a good match. I'm going to have to tie that back on, and we'll keep working. Sneaky Pete! So yeah, I wanted to make one in kind of blues, neutrals, boyish, male tones, and then I've got this one to do a more girl blanket with in the future. I'll get to it. So this is Moose Tracks ice cream yarn, and this is the other charity project I'm kind of shifting to now, and so I'll focus on this, and then once I'm done with these, we'll decide where my charity projects go in the future. The final thing, okay, so I'm not going to talk book, so, oh, who's coming to visit?
Hi, Mom.
Hi, buddy. What you doing?
I just wanted to come in and give you a hug.
Well, thank you, sweetheart. I love my hugs.
Bye, Mom.
Bye. What's on your face? That looks like ketchup.
No.
Oh, are you going to play Magnetiles with Bingo? Okay. Okay, so, I've lost my train of thought. We're not talking books, so next up is going to be my Stephen West MKAL project. I still am on Clue 1. I haven't finished Clue 1 yet. So, spoiler alert, if you don't want to see something nearing the end of Clue 1, look away, turn me off, have a wonderful day, week, weekend, whatever, just have fun. So I am doing the Geogradient 2024 Stephen West MKAL. I am still working through Clue 1. I am very close, so I'm almost done with my last repeat of color C, and then I'll do color D, and then you do A, B again. So I'm very close to being done with it. If you don't want to see, look away. But exciting news, I've now pulled it off of Magic Loop. The stitches around fit my circular needle, so I don't have to fiddle with the loop. And I'm excited. Okay, let's show you the front of the work, which I can only distinguish because I haven't woven in my ends. Okay, 1. Hope that wasn't too much of a flash. I don't think it was. And because it's in the circle, you can kind of see the shape of it a little better. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to show where I'm at. So here it is. I am loving it. I think the colors work super well. It definitely has that autumnal look to it, and it also is a very like 70s retro feeling to me. So that's so much fun. This was a Malabrigo sock multi-pack I got off of Little Knits. It wasn't marketed as an MKAL color palette. I know a lot of shops do that. They'll put together things that they think will work for the MKAL every year. I mean, it's a whole big thing to do this. But I just happened to be on Little Knits because I got an email about their Malabrigo being on sale and came away with this. I think it's beautiful. And I don't think now that that's too dark for it. I think it's a good dark counterpoint to end it. And I think it looks nice. So I have thought about it a little more, and I'm not going to touch too much more on the controversy surrounding Clue 1. But I do worry that had I gone with the initial Clue, that with this dark of a color as my darkest color, you might have seen what was being discussed. And that's as far as I'm going to take that discussion. But yeah, so I am almost done with Clue 1. I think I will finish it this week. And I should be able to start Clue 2. So normally I love mysteries, but I also love looking at the pictures of the MKAL. I just like seeing all the colorways people have made. So I don't shy away from any of the spoiler posts or anything. So I have seen what Clue 2 looks like, and I think it's cool. I think it looks nice. I'm excited to work it up. And I read the description of Clue 3. I haven't seen any pictures of it yet, and based on the clues in there, I think it's going to be a fun knit. I am definitely I'm moving more quickly through this one than I was Twists and Turns. This is a much more, I think, approachable pattern than Twists and Turns was. Twists and Turns, that beginning was a doozy. It was a doozy. And like this was a doozy for different reasons, but I'm definitely getting further with it and I'm enjoying it. Okay, so that's what I got for you this week. Let me know what you're working on, what you're excited about, and I'll see you later. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow. Come back tomorrow because there's gonna be a drawing, right? I draw tomorrow. Oh, I forgot to fold that down. I do. Okay, so tomorrow I'm drawing for my birthday bash video. So if you have not gotten in on that, go back to October 8th. On the 8th, I posted a video. Comment on it. Get in on it because I draw for it tomorrow. Okay. I'll see you later. Oh, no. And then also get us more of your Crafting Kitty Creator Spotlight entries. We're going to draw for that on the 31st. So you still have time for that. And time is running out on the birthday one. Okay. I'll see you guys later now.